Alright, how's it going? So this video is going to be a pretty rambly one. It is very far from a fully scripted video that I would normally do for a topic or really just a video like this. Basically, the announcements for Battlefront 2, Battlefront 2 2017 to be specific, all the Clone Wars announcements, that has me crazy excited. It is exactly what I wanted and so many people wanted for the game at release. And honestly, it's better late than never that we're getting it, which is still good enough for me, got me plenty excited. So essentially, I just wanted to list out a few things, really just a few of the many things that I would absolutely love to see added. Some are going to be a little bit out there, probably never going to get added, but a man can dream. So here we go. So I am going to quickly mention that I am excluding a few things that we are most likely already going to be getting. Obviously, all the announced stuff like the heroes, as well as probably a Coruscant map. I have a feeling we're probably going to be getting that. And hopefully Droidekas as well. So none of those will be on this list. Also, please don't take this list too seriously. I'm really just doing this for fun. It's kind of fun to like speculate and just imagine what could be added to the game. I fully expect probably none of this, maybe save one idea to actually make it in the game, but probably none to be honest. Again, this is just more for fun. So we've had Obi-Wan, Grievous, Anakin, and Dooku announced, but one hero that I'm sure every Clone Wars fan wants to see added is Ahsoka. And I'm assuming most of you probably saw this point coming. And really, who wouldn't want to see Ahsoka added? She was easily one of the most badass characters of the show, and obviously a fan favorite for many. I think it's a complete no-brainer to add Ahsoka, and I think most of you probably think that as well. It just makes sense. If the majority of the community wants to see her, then why the hell not? It would make a lot of people happy. I think it'd also be cool just to see her species added. The Togruitans really don't get a lot of love. I think that's right how you say it, right? Togrutan? Is that the plural of Togruta? Whatever, I'm gonna go with it. I think it'd be cool to see her species added as well. You don't see too much of them, so that would be another plus. So now we're gonna move on to the second thing I'd like to see added, and this one is map-based. If you've been subscribed to my channel for really any length of time, you probably know that the Umbara arc is my absolute favorite arc of the Clone Wars animated series. It really just ticked all the boxes for me. It's one of the few scenes in Star Wars, whether it be in the movies or in TV shows, that really just put the war in Star Wars for me. I think an Umbara map would make for an incredible and atmospheric, large-scale map for a mode like Galactic Assault or any other large game mode they might have planned in the future. Just between the crazy-ass, wicked, cool-looking forests and stuff like the Vixus creatures, and then you also have like the Umbaran bases that you could work your way up towards as the clones, I just think it would make for an incredible experience. Not to mention all the wicked Umbaran vehicles. It would be perfect for space-to-ground combat, and I want it so damn bad. Seeing just how well a modder-created Umbara map for the OG Battlefronts from 10 plus years ago turned out, it just makes me all the more excited to even think of the possibilities of an Umbara map on a newer engine. I think this is probably going to be quite the long shot to actually see arrive in the game, just thinking about how much work it would probably take to design all those crazy custom assets and whatnot. But honestly, of any point on this list, this is the one I would love to see the most. I also forgot to mention all of the super badass clones that we follow throughout that arc. Seeing them added officially would be awesome. Having them in mods is absolutely great. It's really cool just to see them in game. But seeing them officially added as like reinforcements or heroes or something, that would be just a cherry on top. Now I'm going to move on to point number 3, because if I talk about Umbara anymore, I'm just going to get all riled up and not sleep tonight. So the third thing I would want added is a Death Watch mode. It is something that's been the focus of a fair few mods for the OG Battlefront 2, and even a few for the newer game. And for good reason, might I add. The Death Watch and Mandalorian Super Commandos are some of the coolest looking soldiers to come out of that show in my opinion. They would be so well suited for things like a giant free-for-all mode, for example, or they even have some sweet characters like Pre Vizsla and Bo-Katan that would be great for heroes versus villains. And of course, it would make for an epic focus for a Galactic Assault mode on Mandalore that could pit something like Darth Maul's Super Commandos versus Bo-Katan and Obi-Wan's Death Watch / Night Owls. I mean, that's going to be a bit of a stretch for all this, but it sure as hell would be epic, and I would love to see it. There's so much potential for content surrounding the Death Watch that honestly, I could see it being the focus of an entire season. So the next thing I want to see added is sort of a two-parter. The first half of this is probably going to be added in some form or another, but the second half I don't think so, but it is definitely something that I would love to see. So the first half of this that I think might be added is Republic Commandos. Whether it's in the form of Delta Squad, you know, like Boss, Sev, Fixer, and Scorch, or maybe even just Gregor, or just generic ones as reinforcements, or some combination of all that, I think that might be added, and that would make me plenty happy. So the second part to this that I don't think is going to be added is a hunt mode on the Acclimator Prosecutor. So basically, I would love to see a hunt mode sort of centered around the whole story on the Prosecutor, where Delta Squad is clearing it out from Trandoshans. I think that would just be pretty damn scary and a ton of fun. Seeing how well the Ewok hunt mode turned out, I think this could be just as great, if not better. Just imagine crawling your way through a dark abandoned ship, being hunted by Trandoshans, and even doing some hunting yourself as a commando. I think that would be a ton of fun. Especially if they're going to be expanding on the whole hunt mode idea, I think this would be a perfect map for that. So the last thing for this list, but far from the last thing I'd like to see, is the battle over Coruscant. So even though I do think we're going to be getting a Coruscant map, I do believe it's probably going to be a ground map and not a space battle over Coruscant. Essentially, I just want to see that opening scene from Revenge of the Sith recreated in video game form. Specifically in this video game, that is. As I mentioned earlier, there's a few scenes in the shows and movies that really just put the war in Star Wars for me, and this is one of them. Just seeing the scale and just sheer epicness of the battle raging over Coruscant, it really gives you a sense of just how massive this war that's raging throughout the galaxy is. It really is one of my favorite opening scenes to a movie ever. So even though I don't think this is probably going to be added, at least not right away, there is the chance. You never know. I feel like there might be enough people asking for something like this. So I'll take it a step further, and I'd love to see the space battle culminate in some way with a hero battle between Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Dooku on board a Providence-class destroyer. And honestly, I have no idea how they'd make that happen, but I do think it would be a pretty epic way to just really go that extra mile to completely recreate that battle, which was such a major turning point in the Clone Wars. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of rambling. I think most of this is probably never going to make it into the game, unfortunately, but you never know. We could be surprised. I could be surprised. And honestly, this is really just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to stuff I would love to see added, and I'm sure you guys would love to see some crazy shit added as well. So please leave a comment below with some crazy shit that you want to see added to the game. It should be good fun to read all your ideas, and I'm sure some of you guys will truly come up with some crazy shit. Overall, I'm just really super excited for the Clone Wars content ahead. I think this is really going to work wonders for the game overall. It's something that people wanted since day one, and now that we're finally getting it, it's just better late than never. I really never got too far into the game. It never really spoke to me too much, but now that they're adding Clone Wars content, I am definitely going to be playing it a hell of a lot more. But don't worry, the OG Battlefront 2 is going nowhere. We still have quite a while till we get any of this actually in-game. Anyways, that is going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.